Alright guys, bringing you an update. I keep trying to do this video, but it's not turning out right. Been doing a lot of work to the Craftsman lately, and had some engine issues. Basically the piston rings are fried, like 100% fried in the 12 horse, and so is the flywheel starter ring. So, and it also needs a carburetor, and not a stock carburetor. If I'm getting a carburetor for the 12 horse, I'm getting a friggin' Mikuni carburetor for it. I have two Briggs carburetors that seem to have no issues whatsoever, but both of them leak like a friggin' sieve, and they just run like shit. So it's about 120 bucks to fix the 12 horse to the point where I would be happy with it. So basically I'm just gonna put that engine aside, keep it as a spare, because the block, essentially the entire block is fine. You know, rod's good, piston's good, the piston wall is like perfectly fine, there's no wear. Well, there is, but very little wear compared to some of the ones I've seen. So it's definitely a keeper. All it needs is rings and a starter, well yeah, rings, a starter ring and piston rings, and then a carb, and that one will run fine. So I was like, 120 bucks, or let's see what we can find on Kijiji. So I went looking around, and we found an 18 horse Briggs online for 200 bucks. And he said it was attached to a frame. So that's what we got. 200 bucks. And essentially all I was paying for me, was for the engine, because it's going on there. At least that's the plan. It might be too big. It'll fit, but there might be too much weight over the front wheels to make it a viable mudding option. We'll see. So anyway, we go there, check it out. Buddy fires it up for us. It's only running on the left-hand cylinder. As you can see, the pipes are different colors. So it's obviously been running like that for a little while. And I didn't hear any loud clunking, no scraping, no odd noises, other than the fact that it was only running on one cylinder. And then I got to looking at the rest of the tractor. I thought, yeah, shit, you know what, fuck it. It's worth 200 bucks. I'll take the risk. And, because I mean, you never know what's wrong. I mean, the piston rod could have been broken, for all I know, in the right-hand cylinder. So, I said, fuck it, I'll take the risk. We got tires, we got, you know, all this parts we can use. And worst case scenario, I'll throw the engine back on Kijiji. You know what I mean? For 100 bucks. So anyway, buddy fires it up for me. It only runs on one cylinder, so it's like, alright, whatever. Here's your cash. So we took her home and did a little bit of work at Nate's place, finished up smashing his trailer. And then we got a little bored, so Dan was with us too, Dan Alpat, and he said, well, why don't we pull off the right side head cover, or head, and see, you know, if it's totally fucked or what's going on in there. So I'm like, yeah, alright, let's, you know, got nothing better to do, let's find out if it was terminal or not. So we get in there, pull the head off. You don't even have to take that much to get the head off on one of these. I was surprised. On the singles, you have to take off the entire fan shroud just to get the head off. But this one, you just take off this piece, and there's a little piece, yeah, under here. Those two pieces come off, and then you can pull the head right off. So anyway, we took that off, pulled the head off, and then Dan noticed there was a bolt. Yeah. That bolt was hanging out of the intake valve on this side. So it went through the intake, up the pipe, and got jammed in the intake valve, blocking it open. So that's why this cylinder had no compression whatsoever. So I pulled out the bolt and checked the valve seat and valve. The valve was not bent and the seat did not appear to be damaged. So we just, you know, pushed the valve in once or twice, you know, turned the engine over, make sure everything was working good. Seemed to be fine, threw the head back on, and then we tried firing it on just this cylinder. and it ran pretty good actually, other than the intake issues that we've been having since I got this. So it is now firing on both cylinders. Both cylinders have good compression and they do not smoke. So there's no ring problems or anything as of yet. Right now I'm just having intake issues. I just hooked up the fuel system again, as you can see, and I'm gonna try putting some fresh gas in it. I've never worked with one of these engines with a fuel pump before, and it was kind of sucking air, so I mean that could have been the issue. We're gonna find out. I'm gonna put about a quarter tank in there, just like 2 inches or so, and try firing it again and see if it'll idle properly, or if I do have in fact a carb issue. Other than that, we scored big time. So we got the engine, which appears to be damage free, but it has some intake issues, which is fine. I've always had a problem with Briggs carburetors, just basically because they're built to run, for the most part, constant RPMs on the governor, so they don't like 0 to wide open throttle, stuff like that. But I mean, I can work around that. So we got the engine, which seems to run pretty damn good. No clunks, no bangs, no smoke. We got 2 brand new to me, front tires and rims, which actually need to be deflated. Those are way too friggin' hard. So I got 2 good front tires. So this one's not bad. This one feels like it's got 5 or 10 pounds in it, like it should. That one's way too hard. That's one reason a lot of people end up cracking their tires. Too much friggin' pressure. So we got 4 good tires. Well, decent tires, decent tread. 5-bolt rims. Wait, what? 5-bolt? Yeah, we'll get to that in a sec. We have an adjustable tie rod that I can steal for the Craftsman because it needs one bad. Good battery. Came with a good battery. And yeah, this transaxle is freaking huge. Oh, and just so you guys know, that's why it's not worth saving the chassis on this one. It's also just a weak looking chassis overall. Just the way the stanches are built. It doesn't, honestly, to me, look very strong. Plus the tow hitch is already bent. And if you compare the thickness of that tow hitch to this one, yeah, you tell me which is a little bit more beefy. Like, I don't know, I'm pretty sure this tractor's been reinforced before I even got it. So that's why I'm not using this frame, because it's like rotted. And that's not the only spot. I mean, she's seen better days, this one. So the frame's pretty much getting scrapped. But other than that, I mean, I got transmission, tires, parts, and an engine, and a battery. So I'm happy. One question though, if any of you guys recognize the look of this thing, I am kind of curious to know what it was originally, stock. I don't know if it was a Murray, Noma, Husky. It was red originally, if that helps. That's why I'm thinking like a Husky or a Noma. They like to paint things red. No, Kubota's orange. So yeah, that's what we got, guys. So basically I'm just gonna strip it down completely. Tires, tranny, everything. Basically it's just gonna be a bare frame when it leaves here. And most of the parts are going on this guy because, like I said, this frame to me looks more sturdy and it's definitely in better condition. No rust, like literally no rust, especially since I painted it and sanded it. And so, oh, and by the way, that seat came with it too. This universal replacement seat came with that tractor. Originally it was $250 without the seat. I got it for $225 with the seat. So not too shabby. And I'm just about to put gas in this thing and see if I've fixed the intake issues that we've been having. So that's about it, guys. Just wanted to give you that update. Sweet find. Half of the electronics don't work. As you can see, starter button's up here because the ignition doesn't work. Also, the kill switch doesn't work, which makes it interesting to work on with a friggin' throttle that likes to stick open a little bit. Well, it actually has vacuum issues. There's a leak somewhere, so even with the throttle fully closed, it's still revving to like 1500 RPM with the screw. I could like take the screw right out and it would still. So that's why I've been running it on one cylinder, just to keep the revs down. And I don't know why it's having kill switch problems at the moment. I'm sure the kill switch works, they usually do, but it's not connected. I even tried taking the wire from here, and Dan was touching it to the frame and shit, and it wasn't doing anything. So I'll keep you guys updated, and yeah, see what happens when we put some gas in this pig and try and fire it.